Yo, what up gamers, Vaporadoc here, and today I'm going to show you how to play Jinx. Jinx has recently been buffed, and is currently very good on this patch. So we're going to be playing Jinx Thresh into Jhin Lux, and we're going to be running Cleanse here, since it's going to be really important for this matchup. They have double CC, and if we get hit by Lux binding, it could result in a lot of damage if we don't cleanse that. Especially, I mean, it's generally a smart choice against Lux regardless of who your support is, because one Lux binding can lead to the full combo, but especially when Jhin can also extend that combo with his own WCC, it's especially more important. If you're not running Cleanse though, you can run Heal, or Ghost, or Exhaust. I would say Heal and Ghost you can pretty much run in the same situations. And Exhaust you would want to do against like either Assassins to deal with them, or against all-in ADCs like Tristana, in order to survive the all-in. We're about to hit level 2, so let's try and go in here if possible. We can start the traps and just place them behind Jhin. Yep. Perfect. He's about to walk into that. Alright, nice. I could think I can snot out of there. Oh well. Yeah, that is one thing you can do if the enemies disrespect you and just stand too close to you in lane when you hit level 2. Just place the traps behind them, and it makes them have to path in a really awkward way. That was even not really placed optimally, and he still ran into it because he, well, I don't know if he just didn't notice it or what, but it would have cost him some time to try and path around that as well. You can also do it just to combo with your support CC, like if you're playing with a Blitzcrank, Blitz landing a hook, and comboing it with a Z, you can just place the traps right under where he's eating the opponent, and that should be a free triple CC combo for you both. Here we're gonna take Longsword and a Dagger. So for runes this game, we're running Lethal Tempo, Overheal, Legend Bloodline, Coup de Grace, Gathering Storm, and Absolute Focus. Overheal, generally people run Presence of Mind on Jinx, however it's viable to just run Overheal or Triumph if it fits your playstyle better. I think Overheal might be the best right now, because it's a really strong rune in general. So that's why I'm running it this game, although we could easily just run any of the other options as well, they're all decent. But we're probably going to be building Bloodthirst or third item here, but judging by their comp, they probably won't be getting too tanky and we'll have a lot of bursts, so having the Bloodthirster shield combined with the Overheal shield is just going to make us really hard to kill. Okay, we just placed the trust behind Jhin again. Okay, not the greatest angle, but whatever. Probably gonna have to die there. No? Okay. We should be able to get Lux now then. I'll pop a pot, but I'm not expecting to end up dying here. But it's just in case. You never know. The enemy jungler might pop up or something. If you can win an extended fight, then you may as well pop it. We can definitely go for at least one plating here, and then maybe also go for the next wave too. Yeah, I'll just get the next wave as well. Actually, it's more important to focus the melees. There we go. So I'd rather focus the melees there, because if we happen to have to leave early and leave the casters alive, the casters being alive still forces our entire wave straight into their turret, where it's gonna die. Whereas if we leave the melees alive, our minions are going to be a lot further away from the turret and not necessarily going to run into the turret, and it won't cause the wave to reset. So we'll get boots here and also a dagger. Now I'm just going to get probably berserkers before pickaxe. We'll see. It's not really too important for this matchup. In fact, we'll probably just do more damage to them if we go pickaxe. But the mobility is also just really useful for survivability on Jinx if we happen to get ganked or something. Especially since we're not running Ghost. Feels like I would really value that. And of course your W can also be chained with either your support CC or your trap CC. And it also works the other way around as well, where you can combo your W slow with your traps. So that whenever you slow the enemy with your traps, you can just, or sorry, with your W, you can just place the traps just slightly behind them and they'll probably walk into it. You need a certain amount of W strength for that, which just got buffed this patch as well, so you can now do it sooner as well. So we slowed here, so we place the traps behind him, just like that, just easy like that. Okay, she still has flash, I believe, so she should probably get away here. Oh, I guess not. Maybe she already used it without... well, with me forgetting. We don't know where LeBlanc is. I'm just gonna back off here, I don't know where LeBlanc is, and we know Zinzao is here. It's annoying to leave the wave screwed up like that, but I'm assuming Nico is pinging, was pinging, missing for a reason. Yeah, I think I'll actually just go for the pickaxe. I've got a perfect amount of gold for that. If I don't go pickaxe here, then I'm just not gonna get to spend as much of my gold, which would be bad. Okay, we just place traps there. We'll focus Lux first. Now moving on to Jin. Okay, can't quite finish him. You see the traps, when you combo it with any kind of slow, it's just super powerful. Can be your own slow from W, or it can just be a support slow as well. Want to play careful here. It also works with your ultimate, so if I land the W on Jin here, that could lead to an easy ultimate hit. There we go. He could have definitely still dodged that. Like I said, it becomes a lot easier the more points you have in W. Because then your slow is a lot stronger as well. It increases by 10% each level, which is the exact same buff that she got to her W this patch, so... you know, there's gonna be a lot of like traps or a lot of ultimates that you would land on this patch that you wouldn't have on a previous patch. It's just hard to say exactly when it's actually helping you out, but definitely does. We'll place... we don't have enough for our traps, but... we would just save the W, so we wouldn't even want to use the W there when she's already out of the Thresh CC. We would instead want to save it in case she flashes away outside of her range. So we can then just land it on her, slow her, and keep autoing her once we get back in her range from the slow. I guess we'll just go straight for Mythic here, and I think in a game like this, probably gonna be the smartest choice to just build Guild Force. I think, especially when you're not so ahead though, you would consider Kraken Slayer more, because obviously you need to be doing sufficient damage to carry games. So, I mean, I think the more behind you are, the more sense there is in Kraken Slayer, because there's no point in survivability if you don't actually deal damage when you're alive anyway. But Guild Force when you're really ahead is really good just for staying safe. And we use the same logic for building Bloodthirster as well. If you're really ahead, then it's really good. If you're behind, then maybe you might want to consider something that does a bit more damage. Especially if the enemy comp is a little bit on the tankier side. We're just gonna slow push here. There's no need to crash this too early because we're denying them farm just by doing this. That's why we forced them to overextend. I just placed a trust behind Jin here with slow or no slow. Should be an easy hit. He just got too close, just like in the level 2. Now we try and pressure the turret while we can. We could get ganked. Ooh. Okay, she doesn't have level 6, so thankfully I don't get comboed there. Yeah, we could get ganked, but I'm relatively confident right now, since Jin is gone, about our chances of just being able to do 2v2. could try and bait something here. See if Zin goes in. There we go. Is Jin level 6? He is, so we could probably do with the running here after the cannon. There we go. You should be in lane already, though. It's taking a bit longer than usual. Okay, so since we're really ahead, I think we can just go ahead and build the Bloodthirster's second item here. We'll start off with the Vamp Scepter. It'll work really well with our overheal as well. I think usually second item you would mainly want to do Bloodthirster, but again, like the further ahead you are, the more value there is in survivability. A lot of people like fall into the trap of thinking the opposite, that the more behind you are, the more defensive you want to build so you can avoid giving up deaths. But the important thing is that you need to not be too much of a liability when you're behind, so you need to still do enough damage to actually be able to win games. There's no point in not dying if you're just still gonna need to get completely like carried by teammates who are massively overperforming. Even if you manage not to feed, it's not gonna matter if you're doing 0 damage because your teammates are gonna have to carry too hard. You mainly want to avoid giving up deaths through, you know, actually playing properly, using your brain. We don't even need to bother with the traps here because it's just too free. Okay, I got a cannon still. Yeah, again, like I could place the traps, but she's still clearly dead there. There's no point in using all that mana for no reason. Okay, this is super early turret. Especially since we have Vamp Scepter, we can just consider doing Gromp now if it's up, which it is. And also blue. So we see Zenzel's topside, we know there's no chance of him contesting this. Even if there were though, I would actually probably want that because me and Thresh can easily just kill him 2v1. So we'll just steal everything we can here. Probably could have thrown ultimate to get some farm there, but whatever. Yeah, we can just keep pushing here. We know everybody's on the opposite side of the map except maybe LeBlanc. But I'm confident we could 2v3 or at least escape. I'll stay and shove another wave. It's not too important though. Just because I can. Okay, we place the chest behind her this time. Okay, nice. Should have been fine there probably, I'm just really ahead. And she doesn't have Ignite, so wouldn't be able to cut down my healing from Vamp Scepter and Bloodline. Kind of awkward because I don't want to sell my Thorn's Blade for Bloodthirster here. I think it would be fine if you want to do that, but I just don't like doing it. Because I can just farm one wave in return with Bloodthirster. Let's see, every objective is down. Drake is the one that's next up. Like, usually you might want to consider going to top lane and just pressuring 2v1 there. Problem with going top lane right now, though, is that we don't actually have a turret there. So we don't have any protection to, like, run towards if we happen to get ganked there, right? So I think the best thing to do here is instead pressure mid lane. Which is a lot harder to pressure because it's a... Ooh. I need to flash out here, my bad. Yeah, it's a lot easier to get ganked here, unfortunately. But at least we have a turret to retreat to. Like, Thresh doesn't just die here. Which he would have on top lane. This guy is gonna keep going for me, I think. Yeah. We'll just recall here. So probably went a little bit too aggressive there without any vision on Zenzel. You don't always have to just pressure the turret as well. It can be good enough to just have mid lane prile, which you can use to do things like flank the enemy bot lane here when they push this far up. It helps as well that the mid lane waves always arrive before the bot lane waves, so we can clear that faster than they can clear their wave. And just gank them sooner than they could gank us if they were to try and do the same thing. This might be a kill, we'll see. Okay. Yeah, but we now have the Bloodthirster, so... got that insane survivability. I don't have Gilforce up for another 40 seconds, so we gotta be careful. Problem is LeBlanc has really good engage range, or... so... oh, exactly. This guy's just immediately running back towards us. There we go. Alright, now LeBlanc just against both of us is not gonna be a problem. Yeah, I was actually just headed towards top lane to maybe gank Gangplank, but... just a huge coincidence that Xin Zhao with the flank is from there. Ow. Ooh, okay. My bad, the Gilforce didn't reach him. Okay, I just wanna heal up off of this next wave. I see LeBlanc, she's not currently in range to actually hit me, so... I just need to be left alone with this wave and now I'm gonna be full HP again. Perfect. Full HP and then some with the overheal and shield from Bloodthirster. Nope, not bad. Okay, I'm probably just gonna shove one wave here. Then base. Because I have no mana and I could do with spending my gold. I've got enough for a BF sword already. This should be a kill. There we go. No need to use W there, because I can just keep chasing him down with autos eventually. Even if it's not as fast as using W, at least it's more guaranteed. I'm more than tanky enough for this. This is why we built Bloodthirster, so we can just take all these 1v1s. Ooh, I'm getting blocked here. Sad, that could have been a kill once my W wasn't getting blocked by minions anymore and once his shield was down. We'll get probably 2 turrets here. Oh, and we can also just take these raptors since we know they're here. I guess I'll just leave them for you. I'll just base now. We could try and stick around until the full Infinity Edge, but I don't think there's any need for that. Maybe I should have stuck around for the Herald, though. Oh well, too late for that now. We definitely would be able to stick around a lot longer if we had overheal, so our mana wouldn't be running so low all the time. But the important thing is that it is manageable, you know, when you are low on mana, you do have the option of just recalling. It's not some insane issue that's just gonna make the game unplayable if you have to recall because you're low on mana, you know, that's just what some champions have to do. Maybe annoying, but when overhealed is just the only reason why you're not getting burst down in fights, it can be well worth it. If we land this W, that could be a kill, so it landed. Can we try placing the traps on her? Okay, maybe if the heal didn't speed her up, but I'm not sure. Could have definitely Gale Forced onto her to get the traps past her, but I'm not sure that would have been necessarily worth it. Compared to using my Gale Force for actually winning fights, because when you think about it, right now I've got 14 kills. How much do I really need? Just a little bit of extra gold, right? I don't really. I don't care about probably like, I don't know, 150 gold or less that she's giving right now. At least if I kill Jhin, it gets him off the map so he can farm. So that would be a little bit more valuable, but still. I'd much rather use my Gale Force to try and win a fight, or to preserve my 1000 gold shutdown, than to try and kill people with it. Especially people who only give 100 gold. And we eventually kill them anyway without it. Ooh, careful. Alright, we can probably just back off here. I've already got enough for Bloodthirster anyway. And this is my most typical threat and build in most games at the moment on Jinx. Obviously the Gale Force is interchangeable with Kraken Slayer depending on how the game goes. But typically in my games personally, I don't see a whole lot of tanks on the enemy teams. So there's not much need to build full damage. So I usually go Guild Force and then follow it up still with not even building LDR or a Zeal item for damage. Or Infinity Edge for damage. I just usually end up going Bloodthirster second. And if I do Infinity Edge second because I want more damage, I still usually end up going Bloodthirster third item anyway. And this game, they don't really have any armor whatsoever besides this Tabis on Zinzal, so I don't think we need to go Lord Dominic still. We can just afford to go a Zeal item. So most people obviously, or it's been the meta in recent times on Jinx to go Phantom Dancer as your Zeal upgrade, but I don't think it's gonna be that good in the meta for the foreseeable future, because I think both Fire Cannon and Runan scale better than it. And so if you're building your Zeal item only as a fourth item, as opposed to second item, that makes it a whole lot more worth, I think, to build either Runans or Fire Cannon. And why do I think that Fire Cannon and Runans scale better than Phantom Dancer? It's because they're both sort of like, you could think of them as like auto attack multipliers. Basically, when you have Fire Cannon, you can land more autos than you usually would because of the one auto attack poke that you get every time you reach 100 stacks, right? And the more items that you have, the more damage a single auto does, so the more worthwhile the Fire Cannon poke is. Meanwhile, Runans obviously like splits your autos into three. The split autos only do like, I don't know, 30% of your AD, or 30% of your damage at least, because it can crit. So naturally, the more damage that you're actually dealing with at 30%, the more worthwhile Runans is as well. And the more you might need Runans to like try and stall games out as well. You might benefit more from wave clear. So I think in a game like this, you could easily go Fire Cannon, but I think Runans might be slightly better. I can't even like fully explain why I think that. Oh, just behind her. I'm not sure I could even explain why I think that. I just get the feeling like I would rather do Runans in a game like this, if it comes to it. I guess because there's nobody on their team who I like really want to outrange, I know I just beat them all in straight up fights. So I can afford to just go for the maximum amount of DPS possible, which is going to be AoE DPS included. So here we can use Guild Force aggressively, because if I kill them here, then we get to keep pushing here naturally. So that's a much better use of an aggressive Guild Force in my opinion. Not to mention Gangplank probably gives, I imagine, a lot more gold than Lux and Jin do. Okay, they're in a caught in a really bad spot there, holy crap. Okay, we can't really keep pushing here. We can definitely get this inhib as well though, and then I think we can just leave. I've got 2,800 gold, that'll definitely help me close out the game. Once I spend it. Now we protect Thresh by going on LeBlanc. The one that's furthest away must be her. I should have... Nah, I don't have ult anyway. Yeah, because she used flash, so... Alright, I will just base now. As ahead as I am, like I'm not trying to drag this game out, right? But as ahead as I am, I don't think I'm gonna be able to solo end this, so... Might as well spend my gold. And final item... In a game like this, for sure, I think GA is the right call. Even Stopwatch could be really smart here, but I don't think Stopwatch will actually be necessary here. But for sure, the more ahead you are, and the less damage you actually need because the enemy comp is really squishy, I think the more sense it does to actually do Bloodthirster over... Sorry, Guardian Angel over... Lord Dominic's. Or even a Zeal item sometimes if you had to do Lord Dominic's. It depends. So you can see just how much work the fucking Runans puts in right now. Once I kill Xin here... Oh. Okay. Ah, shit. I'm gonna cleanse that. My lifesteal here is just so amazing that there's no way Jin can really kill me. Yeah, you can see I'm doing so much damage right now. This late into the game that the Runans multiplier just seems so much more worth it than it would have at second item, right? I think that's something people are not really thinking too much about yet, is that now that you can do Infinity at second, Bloodthirster second, all that jazz, There's a lot more value in Rune Ends and Farcanon than there was before, and you don't have to default to Phantom Dancer as much. Anyway, I hope you guys found this guide/video helpful. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to be happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, gamers.